Welcome to Sandy Glen Farm and Forage. My name's Amanda, and I'm here today to invite you to join us for the next chapter of our off-grid journey. My husband David and I started down this path about 10 years ago when we purchased a little piece of land that we had totally different intentions for. We bought this land so that we had a place where we could just go immerse ourselves in nature for the weekends and kind of escape the chaos of the work week while we reset and recharge to do it all over again. But as we started to explore this journey and this chapter of our lives, we realized that that wasn't what we wanted. What we wanted was a complete change. So here we are, 10 years later. We built a little cabin, started out as a dry cabin with no running water or electricity, and that's how we intended it to stay for just our weekend adventures. But when we decided to move here, of course, I wanted a few more modern luxuries than that. So we ended up installing solar, well, and septic and adding a bathroom addition. So our little 400 square foot cabin has become a 500 square foot cabin and now has all the luxuries we could ever need. So we just love this lifestyle. I think just about everyone told us we were crazy when we said we were going to sell our nice little home and move to our cabin in the woods. And that little home, by our current standards, was a mansion in size and scale compared to this. But we were very comfortable. But it wasn't the dream that we had in mind. When we started staying here, we realized that this is where our heart was. Every time we came down, we were pulled stronger and stronger, and we never wanted to go home. So it was just the logical choice for us. We spent about a year getting the house ready to sell and trying to sell just about everything we owned so that we could fit in our little 500 square foot cabin. And here we are. We've been here a year and a half now. And this journey's been amazing. We absolutely love it here. Life is so much more intentional off-grid. You know, in our modern society, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the day-to-day busyness of life and overlook the simple blessings of the luxuries around us, the way that we get to live. You walk into a room and you flip a switch and you have lights, and you turn up the thermostat or turn down the thermostat and you have heat or air conditioning. And it's become so comfortable to us that we've kind of lost touch of where all that comes from. And that's one of the beauties of this lifestyle, is that we have to live intentionally. When it comes to power, we have all that we need, but we have to be a little bit more conservative in our use of it. If we've got a stretch of cloudy days, we can't necessarily do laundry when we want. We might have to wait a day or two till the sun shines. If we've got a sunny day today and we've got 4 days of gray skies forecast, we need to be a little bit more careful with what we use today because we might not be able to fully charge tomorrow. So that has actually not been the sacrifice I thought it would be. It's just a matter of adjusting your expectations and living within your means. Just like with a budget, we have an electrical budget. And that's not so bad. We kind of like it. And those quiet nights when we don't have much running and it's nice and peaceful just sitting in front of the fire are some of the best. It's such a nice way to live. We heat with wood, and that also takes a lot of intentionality, a lot of work, but it's satisfying work. And one thing that we have learned throughout this project is that we take so much satisfaction from a hard day's work. That bone-weary feeling when you crawl into bed at night and you know your body's telling you you've accomplished something is actually really satisfying. And we look forward to that every time we start a new project. We actually look forward to that expenditure of energy and that tired feeling because it means we are building this dream and we're making progress. This all started as such a simple thing, a place to get away, and has become a complete and total lifestyle change. And we've come so far in this journey, but we're nowhere near done. We have so many big plans yet. We ended up adding ducks last year, and we weren't quite prepared for them. I had about a day to come up with a structure to store them in, to house them in. So this year I'm hoping to build a much nicer chicken coop so I can incorporate chickens and ducks and get a chicken compost system going that I can use for my gardens. And my gardens are what I'm so excited about right now because for the first time, I'm going to have an abundant space to plant in, and that excites me to no end. I find so much joy in the promise of the garden. From that little seed, all the untapped potential in that little kernel. You place it in the dirt, and at the end of the season, after all your hard work, you have a bountiful harvest and you've been able to feed yourself all summer. And it's such a beautiful thing. And then when you take those seeds out of what you've grown, you have so much more than you started with. And each year can multiply. And that's exciting. Maybe a lot. I don't know. It doesn't matter because that's where I get my joy. So I hope you have something in your life that brings you joy. If you have if you have a dream in your heart, don't let anybody tell you it's silly. I never would have imagined that we would be living this dream today. And if we hadn't stepped out and just taken that first step toward the dream, we wouldn't be. If you don't dream big dreams, you can't live big dreams. And so many people told us we were crazy. We had a nice little house, but we weren't happy there after we bought this. This is where we were pulled. This is where our heart was. And we knew that without a doubt. So when we made this leap, we were confident in it, but I think just about everybody else thought we were nuts. So if we had listened to them, we wouldn't be living in all the blessings that we are right now, and we're surrounded by them. Every time we get up out of the bed in the morning, we look around out windows in every direction, and we have beautiful views of the woods or out over our pond and the gardens. You step out on the porch and you can watch the sunrise over the gardens in the morning or the sunset through the trees in the woods, and we're surrounded by beauty and peace, and that's just priceless. This lifestyle, while it's much harder physically, is so much more satisfying. It's such a nice blend of modern convenience and comfort and the simpler ways of times long gone. And we appreciate that. It's brought us such an appreciation for every aspect of life, from heating our home to turning a light on to having water that comes right in when you turn on the faucet, to being able to grow our own food and what it takes to store it and put it up and make sure we've always got enough of everything we need. We are connected with our life in a way we weren't before, and that in and of itself is yet another blessing. So some of the projects we have coming up, I'm working on getting my Back to Eden gardens going. We got a greenhouse put up right before winter, and this is going to be my first year growing in an unheated space in Northwest Illinois, which we're zone 5B here. So we still have a lot of winter left. It's currently February, and today is a balmy 39 degrees, but we're expecting to be back in single digits by the beginning of next week. So things change rapidly in winter here, but we're looking forward to the adventure of learning about growing in that space, and then tackling the project of planting the new Back to Eden garden and making sure that we get the rest of it chipped, and just all the lessons that'll come with that new chapter as well. We have our tilled garden that we've been growing in for several years, and a couple of raised bed gardens, and it's going to be so exciting just to compare how things do in each of these different growing environments. So that is, that's what excites me right now. In fact, I'm going a little nuts just waiting for the time that I can start those seeds. I look forward to it every single year. So it's really nice that right now it has warmed up enough that we have a project to distract me from my anxiousness a little bit. So we're currently tapping our black walnut trees. I have about 60 of them tapped now. I'm not sure how many for sure we're going to do this season. We've got a lot of projects going on, so we don't want to get too carried away. But we have at least 150 trees that are big enough to tap at the moment. So we'll see where we end up on that. But we got 60 of them tapped last weekend, and now the sap started running yesterday, and it's so exciting. Some of our buckets are about half full, and it's almost time to go out and collect that sap for the first time. So that's another project we'll be showing start to finish, how to tap the trees, what we prefer to use for collecting the sap, and the whole process through boiling and bottling and all that. It's so much fun, and it's so awesome and rewarding to have such a sweet treat to share with family and friends at the end of the process. So I get so excited about stuff like this. But there are so many things to be excited about. We love to learn. And out here, there's something new to learn every day. Every time we step out in the woods, I think I see a plant that I've never really noticed before. And since being here, my opinion of things has changed. We used to try to keep the weeds out of the lawn, and now I plant them on purpose because they're tasty and delicious. But you go for a walk in the woods, and you can come back with dinner, and that's so awesome. We've been convinced as a society that you go to the grocery store for your food, right? But there's so much we're overlooking and just turning our nose up at that is tasty and nutritious and delicious. I get excited. I can't wait. Things are starting to, just a little bit of chickweed is growing out there right now, which is delicious, by the way. And our stinging nettle will be popping up before too long. And then plantain and purslane and burdock. There's so much available to us, from the sap in the walnut trees to the fruit on the mulberries. Mulberry leaves even. Who would have known? They make a delicious tea. And they're actually quite good for you. There's so many things that we'd like to share with you. Share our joy, share our excitement as we tackle the next chapter of this journey. We, like I said, are working on the chicken coop here in the spring, and we have a garage that we've got the structure up, but we've still got to finish it, build the walls inside so we can get our shop functional. And we have so much more coming along. Eventually we want to build some little bunk houses out in the woods. There's just so much to share. So I thank you for giving me a moment of your time today and allowing me the honor of introducing myself. And I just want to invite you along on the next chapter of this off-grid journey. Hopefully there's something in there that you'll find worth watching and worth your time. And we'd love to hear your comments along the way and your advice. Those who have done these things already and might know a little bit more than us at the moment can spare us a lot of extra work and heartache. So thanks so much again, and we hope to see you soon.